we are going to go through some warm-ups, some drills, and some technique to help you get into Pincha Mayurasana, which is forearm stand. So before we get started, it's important to know that this is a hard, challenging inversion, and you shouldn't be kind of aiming towards it until you've got the strength. A kind of good idea of whether you're ready is whether you can hold comfortably a headstand, and also whether you can comfortably do quite a few chaturangas in a row. Because what we want is we need our shoulder strength, we need core strength, and we need to have confidence being upside down. So a headstand is perfect. It's kind of like step one on the kind of journeys into inversions. And what also really helps, you can do it without it, but it really does help, is to have nice open hamstrings as well. As we go through, I'll show you why that's kind of helpful. But it doesn't mean, if you can't do those things, it doesn't mean you can't come through this initial journey of building the strength and finding some little steps along the way before you get to that inversion. So by all means, this tutorial doesn't mean you have to do the full version of the pose, not at all. So we're going to start by warming up the shoulders. So we're going to take the shoulders all the way around. And it's really important that we don't go into any sort of inversion or challenging posture without warming up the body. Let's change directions. If you just kind of threw yourself into it, you're just going to open yourself up to injury, and then you can't practice. So there's no point in doing that. So take it through some nice circles. Now full arm, take them round. And take them back. Good. And now we're going to come all the way down onto the mat. So you see I've not got a mat, but I've got a big rug today. And when we come down onto the mat, I want you to spread your fingers nice and wide. And we're going to find a couple of cat-cows here. And you may have noticed a little bit of a different camera angle because I want to have the wall here. Now, everyone always says, and it is true, we don't really want to use the wall. But when you are beginning, it's pretty comforting to have. It's sort of, we can use it, but then we don't become reliant on it. That's the thing. Lovely. Now let's come into a downward facing dog and have a little pedal left and right. And well, here's our first drill into building strength for our forearm stand. So we're going to do 10 waves from down dog to plank and back. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now staying in a down dog, we're going to do 10 down dog push-ups. So here the elbows go wide, the head nearly touches the floor, and then you push back up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now drop to the knees. So we've done a little bit of strength. I'm going to stretch out a little bit here. Lift up through the right arm, and then we'll thread through. Choosing to lift the left, maybe find a bind. Keeping the hand on the mat, spiraling that chest round. Good. Lift all the way back up. And then take it to the opposite side. So open, thread through. Nice, and then open. Good. Now coming into a little bit more strengthening, preparing those shoulders for your pincher. You're going to come into your forearm, so dolphin, forearms flat down, hands spread, fingers spread wide, and then from here we're going to walk our way in to a dolphin and then walk our way out to a plank. So we've got 10 coming in and back. Here's 3. Keep squeezing the elbows together. Don't let them drift apart. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9, last one. 10, good. Drop to the knees. It's kind of a little release again here, shoulders. When you shake it out with the wrist, have a little wiggle. Maybe open and cross. So we want to get those muscles warm, but also just loosen up through the joints. So we've got a couple more drills before we come into the full pincher Mayurasana forearm stand, but just to show you a couple of things that do help you on the journey, or helped me anyway. So one, if you want to go and grab, is a block, and the other is a strap, but a strap that's got one of these little loops so you can tighten it. So for the next drill, I'm going to use the strap. So if you want to go and get one now, press pause and then come join me back to use the strap. So the strap, we're going to just thread it through so we can tighten it here. And we want to place it around just above the elbow. So get it to a place where you can wiggle it up to the arms. It's not going to be too constrictive, but it's going to offer you that support. So it takes a little bit of fiddling to find it. But what you basically want is for when your elbows go down onto the mat, they're going to be in line with your shoulders and your hands are going to be able to stay flat. If you feel you're really fighting, that's too tight, come to release. What you want to feel is a gentle kind of helping of the arms back in. Because what we find is when we're upside down, if we've not got the strength fully yet to keep curving those arms in, the elbows are going to start to spread out. You'll come lower to the mat, and you'll not be able to find that lift that we're looking for. So here, have a little play around with where that is for you, and then come to place the forearms down onto the mat and spread your fingers wide, and I'm going to lift my legs and I'm going to find my dolphin. So nice and strong here in dolphin, spread the fingers, push into the forearms, and then notice what I do here. If I'm going to allow the head to drop down and then squeeze the shoulders to lift me nice and high. Obviously we want this high position. And then here is our next drill coming up. We're going to lift the right leg to lower, to lift the left, to lower. 9 more. Eight. Keep breathing. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Drop down to the knees. Come to have a little break. Roll it out over those shoulders. Now this is kind of, these drills are really good as an assessment tool as well for you to know where you're at, to know if you need to carry on just doing a few drills to get strength. And it takes a while to build strength, especially if you're not used to upper body strength. So I very much wasn't. I was very much a leg strength, running, cycling person, upper body. And I'm still not. It's still developing. So these drills help me to get there. So it takes time, but we just do a little bit, consistent practice, we get there. Last drill before we come up to the wall is I'm going to leave the strap, but I'm going to come back to that shortly. And I'm going to take the block this time. And I'm going to place the corners of the block into the L shape of my hand, so the thumb and the first finger, and place them down. Then here we're drawing the elbows in. I'm going to lift up to find my dolphin. I'm really going to squeeze that block between the hands, and then here look forward. I'm going to rock the weight, touch my nose to the block, and come back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So I highly recommend doing a little circuit of those poses. So starting with your down dog to plank, your down dog push-ups, taking it then into using the leg lifts, and the walking into dolphin and back to plank, the leg lifts, and then the nose touch. Do 3 rounds or something. Break it up though, have breaks in between. And that's really, really good foundations for your pincher. Okay, so moving on to more of a kind of technique. I will show you with the wall because it's good to have it there. You're not going to have that fear of falling. Because the whole thing of pincher, when we come away from the wall, once you feel strong enough to hold it away from the wall, is knowing how to fall out of it safely. So, which is where headstand comes in very handy. But here we're going to, first of all, I will show you without any props. We're going to do a little kick up to the wall. Now this is our hamstring length. This is going to really help here, the more open you are in the hamstrings. But we're going to first of all place the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers wide, and we really want to grip into the mat with our fingertips. And really think about surface area, get your science out. The more surface area you can have, the bigger base, your foundation, then the more likely you are to fly. Now, from here, we're going to walk the feet in. So tuck the toes under and start to walk the feet in. I'm trying to get the hips on top of my shoulders. So I'm right up onto the tiptoes, and I'm going to just lift one leg. Now we might have to do a little hop here, that's all good. To hop, to lift the second leg up. Now I found the wall, and I'm going to just use the wall with one toe if I can, so that I'm not having this banana back. If I just go to the wall, that's not doing me any good. I want to find this straight line. So again, I'm going to keep walking the elbows towards each other and find that lift in the shoulders. Push through the hands. And then here, maybe I'll do a little swap. Take it to the other foot. Little swap. Take it to the other foot. And you can just keep working on that. Little swap. And then slowly come down. So what you might have found there is like, whoa, that's a lot. It definitely is a lot. But what you might have found, especially because I'm working on this rug, I'm going to get a mat now, is the elbows start to slip What you really need is that grip, pulling it in. If you've got a slippy surface, your mat's not too grippy, I suggest trying something else too, so you've really got that firm foundation. So I'm going to now show you how we can keep those arms pulled in with the strap. So just like we did before, it's going to come a little higher up past the elbows. Now, when we're upside down, we're going to feel that restriction to stop us slipping away, be able to keep more height. So coming back to where we were, you're going to spread your fingers nice and wide, really feel that foundation, grip in. Come to tiptoe the feet in, and then again, lift one leg. Now a teeny tiny little hop. We don't want to do too much here because we'll go too forceful backwards. Little hop, find the wall. Now I want you to really lengthen through the spine, draw everything to the midline, and then here push out the shoulders, and then start to lift the second leg off. Maybe you just hold for a second, and then you drop back with the opposite leg. So always trying to find that one line. Then maybe you come back, that's all good. We work at it again, pulling forwards. And then maybe we drop back, or we come to find the floor when you feel tired. So the rule of thumb here is never overexert yourself. Your form will slip. You're more likely to cause an injury to yourself, which isn't going to get you anywhere in your yoga practice. It's just going to frustrate you. So what you want to do is just have a really decent break in between having a go. And notice, this is an important bit, notice the frustration that you may be feeling, and just know that that is part of the journey of learning. Don't get annoyed with yourself. We're going to fall, it's going to feel heavy, it's going to feel hard. And then with time, when you put the hard work in, you will get rewarded. You will find that lift. So you can, if you feel confident to not be near the wall, you can pull it away. But if you want to still stick with the wall, you can still find that balance, just not using the wall, but it's there as a comfort. You kind of work, where you're at in your practice. If you want to start stepping it away, do so. Then by all means, you can choose to use your strap, which is my personal favorite, or this one's a good one to squeeze in here. It's nice to kind of have that block there. I'm going to step it a little bit further away from the wall now and show you what will happen if you were to go over and how best to kind of come back out of that. So here, flexibility in your spine is also really, really useful. Not useful, needed. Openness in the shoulders, especially strength, but also this back bend to help us come out of it. So there's also another way which I don't recommend you do, but it's an option there if you've got a strong headstand, which is if you were to start to slip from the arms, you can lower the head to come into the tripod. I will show you that one next time. The strap here is going to stop me coming into a headstand. So I'm going to be a little bit further away from the wall, but the wall's still there if I need to, so I'm not going to be rolling backwards anywhere, but I will have to have a little bit more of a deeper back bend if I was to fall here. That's all good. So spread the fingers, walk it in. I'm going to lift one leg, and then here, not too much momentum to lift. Now, I'm going to try and find that balance, drawing the legs together, really pushing into the forearms, through the hands, super tall through the spine. And then if I was to fall, my legs will go back, I'll find the wall, but notice how much of a back bend I've got here. Now to kick back, I'm simply going to lower my leg so that point of gravity shifts, and then slowly take it down. And then come back through to center. Okay, to show you the tripod, although this is not one that I recommend, I'm showing you just so you've seen it, and it helps maybe if you've got a strong headstand practice, you know that if it was to happen, you can kind of bring it back, coming into that firmer base of a headstand. I'm going to come into my forearm stand, and then here, note that you can't do this if you have the strap on the arms. That ain't going to work. I'm going to lift, and then little kick to find your pincher. Okay, so then from here, you can have a go a few more times trying to fly with the strap, and then maybe take the strap off and we can have a little play without it. So coming towards the wall, in the middle of the room, wherever you feel comfortable, and note that it's all about not too much of a big jump. When we over push, so if I was to really kick up here, I'm too far over and lost the balance. So I want to find that place, just a little touch. And then I can start to draw the legs together, one straight line, pushing out of the elbows. Now if you lose it, that's all good. And come back down. So I often find with pincher, you kind of have days where it feels easy. Easy's wrong. Easy's subjective. There's days when you're like, this clicks into place. There's days it feels harder. Now, as I said at the beginning, you want to build your strength, find your form, your technique by using the wall for comfort, but then move away from the wall so that you can find the pose without kind of being, you know that you're teaching yourself you're able to do it and fall without having to rely on a wall. So the way in which I would fall, I will show you. I'm going to turn around to go the opposite way. So I'm going to come into my forearm stand. Wonder if I have room. I might have to shuffle back. So come into my forearm stand. Might as well use the wall here whilst I'm at it. And then I'm going to lift up, and say if I was to then fall, I took my head under and then I can roll it out. So having that understanding of curving the spine and allowing yourself to roll out is going to be a real winner in helping you build confidence into this pose. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope it's given you a little bit of a window and an idea as to what forearm stand's all about and how you can build strength to work towards it. And soon you will be flying high. I will show you. I'm going to turn around to go the opposite way. So I'm going to come into my forearm stand. Wonder if I have room. I might have to shuffle back. So come into my forearm stand. Might as well use the wall here whilst I'm at it. And then I'm going to lift up, and say if I was to then fall, I took my head under and then I can roll it out. So having that understanding of curving the spine and allowing yourself to roll out is going to be a real winner in helping you build confidence into this pose. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope it's given you a little bit of a window and an idea as to what forearm stand's all about and how you can build strength to work towards it. And soon you will be flying high.